Videos like this bring me no pleasure. Let's be upfront. I'm not about to be nice, and I'm never shy. This video will detail why this National Geographic article is one of the worst ever written on the topic of Earth's magnetic reversal. This article is a response to a recent book and flurry of news articles describing an imminent magnetic reversal on Earth and deadly consequences. I'll admit outright, many of the articles I have seen in the last few days are utterly sensationalized, taking a real topic way too far. Here we'll be showing why neither those extreme takes on this topic nor this tamed prose is worthy of space in your mental server. Here are the facts. At the end of the video, you'll get all the sources and citations needed to verify the veracity of those facts. But the first question here is one of relevance. Is the pole flip, the magnetic reversal, something that could be relevant to us in our lifetimes? The simple answer is that it has already started to have effects. It is indeed underway and could become significant in the coming years. The big news at the start of the millennium was that the slow decline from geomagnetic maximum 3,000 years ago had accelerated since the 1800s. We were down 10%, losing 5% per century. But just a decade later, the European Space Agency put that figure at 15% lost, and the leader of their swarm mission to study this exact Earth change described a shift from 5% per century to 5% per decade. They also say that we are more than twice overdue for a magnetic reversal. So when the National Geographic article suggests we have thousands of years before this takes place, well, at 5% per decade lost, we'll be below 50%, while some who just got their AARP cards will still be kicking. And that is if we stop accelerating. A similar acceleration could have us there in just a few years. The second half of that story is the actual shift of the magnetic poles. It is expected that they move around a bit, but around the same time the weakening of the field accelerated, the poles began moving much faster. That acceleration has continued to accelerate. The South Pole has already left Antarctica. The North had to cross back over the geographic North Pole, so it is still on approach to Russia. In 2000, it was moving 40 kilometers per year, and the swarm mission indicates that the progression is continuing. That makes it difficult to understand the thousands of years remarks again here. Even without further acceleration, the poles would flip well before that. According to some of the best in the world on this topic at Berkeley, the flip can happen in less than a human lifetime. And we're well into this one already. By the way, the USGS and Occidental published that exact same thing 4 years earlier, but nobody was listening. I assure you, Berkeley's confirmation is solid. They can happen fast. We are well into this one already. That is critical point number one. So with mathematics trumping a stale platitude of millennial geologic slowness, sure there are thousands of years between reversals, but when they happen, they appear to build quick and flip faster and faster. Let's focus on the bigger question now though. Is it dangerous? Well, this article claims the only effects will be to compass direction and animal navigation. It pretty much discounts everything else, with only a brief mention of the space radiation risk long in the future, and so again, not worth their focus now. There is absolutely no basis for this conclusion. It is absolutely false. Here are the facts. One of the most obvious reasons to be concerned is destruction of the ozone. True, humans can affect the ozone as well, but it is well understood that solar activity is one of the most critical drivers of it. Without Earth's magnetic field, we have means of losing more than just that oxygen layer. While there is no evidence that a reversal will turn Earth into Mars via atmospheric loss, it's never happened in the past reversals, there is evidence, however, that the oxygen loss can drastically alter our world for a period during these reversals. The real concern, however, is space radiation. Even this article doesn't discount the cancer risk and risks to our technologically dependent way of life. It just puts them thousands of years in the future and gives human innovation over that period a lot of credit. Well, human innovation isn't the issue, it's the timeline. And there are now over 500 peer-reviewed papers in major journals describing the effects of space weather, cosmic rays, and the global magnetic system on technology, the weather, earthquakes and volcanoes, and human health. I obviously can't show you all of them in any of those areas, but below the video you will find sources to help you navigate that flood of data. But for now, just know that the only thing standing in the way of space energy having those major effects on weather, technology, earthquakes, and our health, even more than they already do, is Earth's magnetic shield. We were down 15% in 2010, which means we're around 20% down now, or more if there's been a further acceleration. The effects on our world, both technological and natural, are summarized in our book Weatherman's Guide to the Sun, and part of that is what led young observer Ferris Wald to win the National Science Championship for solar forcing of cyclones. Every article about the effects of space energy defines the interaction as electromagnetic, whether it is charged particles or electromagnetic radiation of photon light, and everything is going to get more intense in that world as our primary interface with energy from space disappears. Satellites and airplanes at risk, global power grids, imagine no food at the store, no water from the tap, no gas, no ATM, no phones, no heat, no air conditioning, just you and everyone else looking to survive. At the National Space Weather Conference in 2017, I sat and listened to tempered concern from scientist after policymaker after scientist who said, "We are not prepared to have our way of life depend on electricity like this. The sun strips that lifeline every 200 years or so. With the major solar storm, we have just gotten very lucky to have hit the technological age now. And in the past, they were just great displays in the sky, but they had no technology to destroy. And Earth's magnetic field was strong then. As we descend into this reversal, which could be due to hit stride in the coming few years or decades, we may be rendered without electricity for years. Climate change could get worse, and the tsunami of papers describing electromagnetic seismic interactions could only be fortified as our electrical shield from space diminishes and we take it all in. That is critical point number 2. The pattern so far looks like an accelerating flip like Berkeley described, one that could take only 80 years, but we're already a few decades or maybe more into this one, and it's speeding up. One cannot blame the mainstream media for wanting to keep calm about the topic, nor the scientists, nor the government, but they also aren't hiding the real information, provided you are willing to look past a headline or one author's article. This is one of the most critical things happening on Earth right now. It ties in everything else we do. It has already begun to have its effects on our planet, and that will only continue. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.